explain muscles of the back. On Monday, you will have written test in arthrology, and on Wednesday, first classes on myology. Muscles of the back. Muscles of the back are subdivided into superficial and deep muscles, and superficial muscles has 3 layers. Most superficial layer, they are 2 muscles. They are musculus trapezius and musculus latissimus dorsi. Trapezius muscle. It starts from linea nuchalis superior, from spinal processes of all cervical vertebrae and ligamentum nucha, and from all spinal processes of thoracic vertebrae, and attach to spina scapula, acromion end of clavicle. What is the function? Upper fibers of these muscles move scapula upward, lower fibers move scapula downward, whole muscle on the right and on the left side moves scapula to vertebral column, and the same, this muscle participate in extension in atlanto-occipital joint, moves head backward. That is trapezius muscle. Next, latissimus dorsi muscle, widest muscle of the back, musculus latissimus dorsi. This muscle starts from spinal processes of lower 4 thoracic vertebrae, from all spinal processes of lumbar vertebra, from dorsal surface of sacral bone, from iliac crest, and from fascia thoraco-dorsalis, and it goes upward and attach to crista tuberculi minoris in humerus. Function. It participates in extension in shoulder joint, in adduction and pronation. And again, extension, adduction and pronation in shoulder joint. And if we fixed hands, this muscle move trunk to hands. That is, and the same, it lift, move upward lower ribs, participate in inspiration if we fixed our hands. Next, middle layer of superficial muscles, that is lesser and greater rhomboid muscles, musculus rhomboidus minor and major. Both of them start from spinal processes. Lesser rhomboid muscle start from spinal processes of lower 2 cervical vertebrae, and greater rhomboid muscle start from upper 4 thoracic vertebrae, from spinal processes. Lesser rhomboid muscle attached to medial body of the scapula above of spina scapula, and greater muscle attached to medial body of scapula below of spina scapula. Function, it moves scapula medially and upward. Another muscle, that is musculus levator scapula. This muscle moves scapula upward. It starts from transverse processes of lower 5 cervical vertebrae and attached to superior angle of scapula. Move scapula upward and medially. That is middle layer of superficial muscles. And now third or deep layer of superficial muscles. They are 2 serratus muscles, musculus serratus superior, posterior superior, and musculus serratus posterior inferior. Superior muscle starts from lower 2 cervical and upper 2 thoracic vertebrae and attached to upper ribs from 2nd to 5th. And inferior serratus, musculus serratus posterior inferior, it starts from spinal processes of lower 2 thoracic and upper 2 lumbar vertebrae and attached to lower 4 ribs. Superior muscle move ribs upward in time of inspiration, and inferior muscle moves ribs downward in time of expiration. They are superficial muscles. And now deep muscles. Deep muscles of the back. First of all, two splenius capitis and splenius cervicis muscle. Splenius capitis starts from lower spinal processes of lower cervical vertebra, and splenius cervicis it starts from upper thoracic vertebra, and attach splenius capitis to occipital bone in the region of linea nucha superior, and splenius cervicis attached to transverse processes of upper cervical vertebra. Function: extension in cervical department of vertebral column, and splenius capitis extension in atlanto-occipital joint. And all another deep muscles subdivides into two tracts, lateral tract and medial tract. Muscles of lateral tract are musculus erector spinae, that is one of the largest muscle on the back, and this muscle consists of three parts. Lateral part, that is musculus iliocostalis, it starts from iliac crest and attached to ribs. Next is longissimus muscle, that is longest muscle of the back. It starts from transverse processes of vertebral column and attached in the region of mastate process of the head. And last is musculus spinalis. It passes near of spinal processes of vertebra. And whole muscle participate in extension in vertebral column. And musculus iliocostalis, the same, moves ribs downward in time of expiration. The same in lateral tract. We have musculi levatores castarum. They start from transverse processes and attach to ribs, musculi levatores castarum. And lateral tract has muscles between transverse processes, musculi intertransversarii. In lumbar department, they are lateral and medial muscles, musculi intertransversarii lateralis lumborum, and musculi intertransversarii medialis lumborum. And the same intertransversal muscles we have in cervical department between transverse processes. Anterior and posterior intertransversal muscles in cervical department. And now muscles of medial tract. Medial tract, they are muscles between transverse processes and spinal processes. And common name for all of these muscles are musculi transversa spinalis, but they differ one from another in number of vertebrae which they are overlapped. For example, longest muscle in this group, that is musculus semispinalis. It starts from transverse processes, overlap 5 or 6 vertebrae and attached to spinal processes, that is semispinalis. Next is musculi multifidi. They also start from transverse and attached to spinal processes but overlap through 3 or 4 vertebrae. And shortest muscle, that is musculi rotatores. And these muscles overlap 1 or 2 vertebrae. And the same in this group, we have muscles in the region of atlanto-occipital joint. They are lesser and greater posterior rectus muscle, musculus rectus capitis posterior minor and major, and two oblique muscles, musculus obliquus capitis superior and inferior. Musculus rectus capitis minor start from posterior tubercle of atlas and attached to linea nucha inferior. Greater muscle, musculus rectus capitis posterior major, start from spinal process of second cervical vertebra and also attached to linea nuchae inferior. Inferior oblique muscle start from spinal process of the second and attached to transverse process of first vertebra, and superior oblique muscle from transverse process of atlas and attached to linea nuchae inferior. They participate in extension in atlantic occipital joint, and lateral muscles move head to the right or to the left. And last moment, that is fascia of the back. Fascia, that is very thin connective tissue which is surround muscle and separates it muscles one from another. And under the skin, between subcutaneous fat and superficial muscles, we have superficial fascia of the back. And main fascia is fascia thoracolumbalis. This fascia has two layers, superficial and deep. Superficial layer is between deep and superficial muscles. Here it is. This is superficial layer of fascia thoracolumbalis. And deep layer, it is between muscles of the abdomen, they are muscles of the abdomen, and deep muscles of the back. And this fascia, deep layer of fascia thoracolumbalis, is between iliac crest and 12th rib. Here it is. That is why musculus erector spina in lumbar department take place in space between between deep and superficial layer of fascia thoracolumbalis. In front, anteriorly, deep layer, and behind, superficial layer. And this muscle between two fascia in fibrous coat. And in thoracic cage, this muscle is between ribs in front and superficial layer of fascia thoracolumbalis. What is your main task? First of all, you should know names all of these muscles. If you prepare beginning and attachment of this muscle, that is, you receive 8 or 9. But if you want to receive 4 or 5, it is necessary to know names of muscles. Beginning, attachment, and function of each muscle, that is, if you want to receive 8 and 9. Okay? Well,